Hello and welcome to the East Lampeter Township Public Meeting. All participants are now informed that this meeting is being recorded. This meeting is also being offered virtually utilizing Zoom, which is a cloud-based platform for remote video and audio conferencing. The Zoom application is free to the public. The general public is therefore able to join the meeting by connection through the internet or by calling in by phone. The public is also able to observe the meeting on the Township's YouTube channel. Please continue to check the Township website calendar for any updates related to these public meetings. Agendas for these public meetings will also be available on the Township's website. Please be reminded that this meeting is being video and audio recorded and will be posted to the Township's YouTube channel for viewing. The meeting will now proceed with the chairman calling the meeting to order and identifying all other members present in the meeting room and those joining the meeting via Zoom. The chairman will then confirm those members joining by Zoom can be heard.
I have the following members in attendance: Diane Tyson, Chris Cretin, Frank Hollingsworth, and Bruce Hess. We also have township staff members, Ralph Hutchinson, Charles Thomas, and Lisa Cleveland, our Director of Recreation. So, without further ado, let's pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to
stands, nation, indivisible, with liberty.
Yeah, we have that. I'm thinking we did have minutes of our meeting on November 20th. Has everything been done? Yes. Okay. Your motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Okay. The minutes are approved. Next is board reorganization. That's always an annual event. So do we have any members who would like to, who aspire to be another member, another position on the board?
I mean, we keep the officers the same. What's not broken, we don't need to fix.
Okay. No other comment? Okay, all in favor? Okay, so the board continues as is. Public concerns or comments? Do we have anyone like to speak?
We've included this Jim and Julie from the Police Foundation, and it was put under my.
So that's up to you. I mean, if they want to talk now, or if they want to talk when you're, I mean, if you want to address their issues, why not?
You guys can explain.
Okay, so we'll let you. You're Jim.
Jim Lewis. Yes.
Okay.
We are East Lampeter Township residents.
Okay.
So we both represent the East Lampeter Police Foundation, which is a newly formed 501c3 formed mid-year last year. So our mission is to get donations, provide those funds to the police department for additional resources.
Okay.
So the first resource I think that we're shooting for is to help provide funds for Comfort Dog for the foundation. So we're getting going in 2025. It's our first year. We have, lots of fundraising ideas. We're trying to narrow them down to the best ones. So the one idea we had was to have a dog walk at the Township Park.
Okay.
So sometime in the spring, May or June, I called Lisa last week and she was kind enough to call me back and told me what the particulars were and said, well, we'd like you to have to come to the meeting and explain exactly what you want to do. So our idea is as far as what we're actually going to do at the dog walk, we're going to seek some donations from some local, either grocery stores, pet stores, have some tables there with some dog treats, things like that. Hope to get some donations from those folks and also from the participants. Maybe have a food truck, something like that, donuts and coffee. Those particulars still need to be worked out. But just wanted to see if it was possible for us to have the park part of it for a fundraiser at some point. And, as we go down the road, putting details together, be glad to share them, and, keep Lisa or whoever. So,
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds very interesting.
Sounds like you have days and times at this point, or are you still in planning?
dates, Lisa gave us that, the dates that she knew the park was available. I understand, I haven't been to the park yet, I have to go myself, but there was a couple of pavilions there. Get a feel for what is there, and then what we can do as far as inviting people, so, we'll keep communicating, see where it goes.
Anybody have any thoughts?
Any questions? Any donations? We're here.
Yeah. Yeah, because if I speak to the board, I think we're all, in support of this, so I would suggest just coordinate with Lisa and, try and set up the dates, and, I think it's a great idea.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, we do too.
Dogs.
This is for different things with the dog, for the police department, not necessarily just for their dog, right?
Oh, that's right. Would be for, there's a whole list of resources that police department would love to have, and so over the years, we hope to be able to provide some significant funds to help purchase many different things. Yeah.
I know that we have a comfort dog down there, some kind of.
They do.
Yeah, so I meant that.
Yeah.
Loaded here or something, I think here's outside.
Julia spoke, usually the one that does all the talking, so it'd be great.
That they were looking to create a board for the foundation. And so, my husband's actually the president of the board. So he reached out about a year and a half ago, and then we started developing the board last March. So really this past year in 2024 has mostly been developing the 501c and a website, social media, all those things, which we can't believe how much time that's taken us. So we have had pretty many, random donations, but we didn't want to go out there and push for it. And so we had all the information behind it and all those resources. So now we're kind of just trying to come up with like 3 events a year that we can just put a lot of time into those. But with the dates, we'd have to coordinate it with our board as well to just make sure we can get as many people as we can to work the event with us for the volunteers.
Well, good. Yeah, I mean, I commend you for doing it. It's obviously anything that helps meets the needs. That's great. Oh, okay.
Great, thank you. Thanks for
Okay.
your time.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else? Okay, so no other public. We've met. We've got all our public, and we don't have anybody. We don't have anybody online. Okay. Reports. Recreation.
I would imagine recreation, I've been kind of getting disinvolved with baseball now. Lisa's here. I'm assuming that there'll be no need for me to do anything. I've been kind of disassociated with contacting with Charlie, and I'm sure to contact with Lisa. I don't think probably there's any need to have me involved, but there'd just be a third wheel there, which would just add more work to everything. What's anybody think? Because last couple of years, they've been contacting you anyhow. If that would be easier, just
I'll still keep you in the loop. I mean, I haven't received any liability insurance forms yet or anything like that. Did have a conversation with them about the concession stand. They left stuff up there. I'm not sure if the soda's exploded yet or not, but there was a couple of issues that we had, and they would take care of it. But CV baseball reservations, I guess, is down. Conversation later, but yeah, I haven't received anything for no schedule. I don't think their schedule's until February sometime. So I'll send anything this month.
Yeah, and I guess you'll be handling the schedule juggling or whatever you call it to decide who gets wet, who has.
As far as the schedule,
I'm thinking of, using the facilities and stuff like that, schedule.
what nights you're using it,
Yeah.
What is available.
Yeah.
Then you get an okay to use it like this.
baseball, for community park was approved for Thursday.
All right.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, as far as Chris having a report every month, I mean, it's kind of gonna be encompassed in what Lisa does anyway, so that's up to you, I mean.
That makes sense to just cross it off and.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking is, what I'm really thinking is, we want to continue to use your expertise, however, the fact that you've been dealing with these people, you know, you and Charlie have been dealing with these people, it's always helpful that. But as long as you're available to Lisa, that's probably all we need, so we'll do that. Okay. Grass buildings and trails, Charlie.
Not too much happening in the park before right now. We do have a plow during these snow events, go in at least clean out to the Boy Johns. So they're accessible to the cleaners or any public that's walking, but that's about the extent of any winter maintenance that we're doing. Also check the storage, but there's activity at this.
Okay, yeah, not much going on. Okay. All right. Anything else? Then I guess we'll go to the recreation program and our director's report.
Charlie, did you want to talk about the pavilion?
Yeah, at this point, under Lisa's thing is plans for the Lafayette Pavilion. It was approved in the budget. So the plans have been submitted to the engineer for reviews, and we're getting comment letters back yet at this point. But as soon as all the comments are taken care of, we got to go through planning commission yet.
Yeah, it's a regular land development plan that needs to go through the normal land development process. So planning committee, board supervisors, and if done and reported, then we can get a building permit.
Seems funny to do that, but yeah, I guess make everybody else do that, so, yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
go by the book. But at this point, the plans are in. It's in the review. This year. That's, yes.
Yeah.
We are expected to break ground on that this year, though, and
It should be hopefully completed this year.
I mean, I think it's realistic that we'd be in front of the planning commission in February and probably the board of supervisors in March, and shortly after that, be able to,
Cool.
you know,
Yeah.
go to bid or so whatever other legal way we can do it. So yeah, we shouldn't have any trouble getting it.
Hope it's some summer. But we'll see how everything else goes with it.
So everything looks into that, right?
We're going to basically, we're looking at like the Clark Pavilion. We've got 2 restrooms and a mechanical room in the pavilion, up for, I think, 8 picnic tables, some in Clark's. That, so, about that size.
Yeah. All right, you want to continue with your?
Yeah, sure. As you mentioned, CB baseball reservations at Community Park are April 1st through June 30th, Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m.
And there were a couple of Saturdays that they were looking at as opening day possibilities. So we,
26th and 19th.
so we're holding those at this point until that's resolved. And we're working on an updated agreement between the township and baseball to cover all of the maintenance responsibilities and
Oh, wow.
things that we've been in agreement with before. So
Okay.
hope to get that done.
You said that was April 1st to
June 30th.
June 30th. Okay. All right. Okay.
And I sent out previously the cost associated with the screening of part of Community Park. So there where you have that information.
Okay.
Related to the community gardens area.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Related to the community gardens area.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she sent the screening, that's what I was thinking you meant, but I wanted to clarify that, thank you.
Sorry, I butted in. She didn't say community
I'm
garden, so I
sorry.
didn't know if everybody thought we were screening something else.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought, but
Wasn't movie night.
it's always bad to assume anything, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay.
Yeah, I tend to be hyper technical about those things, so.
That's good, that's good, that's good. Thank you, thank you. All right,
And then you have a list of, some of the upcoming events or flyers for the upcoming events that we have going on. Sky, solar system ambassador, cooking on a budget, indoor yoga. Chariot has been a little bit of a challenge as far as getting, the information out to, the population that would be a benefit from that. So if there's, any ideas you have of sharing that information. And then, of course, the community garden and the summer playground are all in the system and on the website so that people can register for them and stuff. So, people have been doing that. Indoor yoga started last evening. We had 8 people participate in that. So, that's going well. And I've also reached out to Langston County Bird Club, and they do monthly walks. They're going to do a monthly walk here at Flory Park in May, and then Community Park in September. And they're going to do like an introduction to bird watching with a group. And it's going to be they schedule them monthly, and then they set the schedule for the year. So those individuals that receive their mailings will or brochures will also see this that our parks are open to it. And some other things we've got coming out is Lance Auto did a egg hunt in the park in last spring, so we're going to join them and work with them on that. And then we have a starting seeds indoors on March 26th at Lafayette that we're going to hold that. We're going to hold it at Lafayette Fire Department and within their social. Pavilion reservations, we are at 23 to this point, 17 residents and 6 non-residents. Compared to last year, we were at 26, so comparable, about the same. And we're working on establishing a park and recreation foundation, similar to what you just heard from the police department. So we've been looking at, this would be to support the park's special projects and recreation programming. We're looking at models of those and creating live lessons, that sort of thing for that.
Is the purpose to qualify for grants because it's like a 501c3 as opposed to a municipal?
Definitely part of it. And, more resources in general, to raise funds for parks and recreation. But yeah, there are probably some grants out there from foundations and things that would prefer to do it with a 501 rather than with the government. So.
Does that allow, I meant to ask that with the dog thing there. Does that allow for, like when we have the big give or something like that? Does that allow people to target give for those kind of organizations within the?
Yeah, I don't know the criteria that the Big Give uses to allow organizations to participate in that, but assuming that it would be eligible, sure.
I just figured that going 501 would allow you to do that, but I don't know how you get listed in that.
Yeah, I mean, usually you have to present them, having done it, financial statement, so you probably have to wait a year, so you have one. And then I think there is like a non-discrimination statement, and there's a couple things. You can go on their website and see what the criteria is so that you would know, but I know financial statement is one of them, so you probably have to wait a year before you could apply for something through them. Or to participate, let's say.
Yeah, of course, once you get the 501, then, it's all tax deductible.
It'd be kind of nice to start lobbying for that before we get to the hour that you give, is being able to tune people into that ahead of time. Particularly being young charities, it's hard to get traction.
Just thought too, is we did apply for fish and boat grant, shares grant for a portion of gibbons that we had spoken.
Okay. Anything else?
To the reservations, I don't know if you saw out in the lobby area, we have a little kiosk set up. And that's where we've had everybody, but those that come in the door are doing the reservations on the kiosk.
How's that working out?
I'm sorry.
I said, how is that
Oh,
working
it's
out?
Good. I mean, we haven't run into any glitches at this point. There have been some people that, technologically have been a little bit challenged. So Cindy at the front has helped, I've helped, staff's helped to people through creating an account and getting that reservation in. There have been, probably a third of them that have come in online from people doing it at home as well. So there have been some comments to that effect too, that they are glad that they don't need to come in and make the trip, and they can do it from home as well. So.
Good. Well, hopefully that'll take a little bit of, require a little less staff interaction to get the reservations and, have it all done. Good.
We have to touch it because, they put in their address, so we have to confirm it's a resident or a non-resident, so that they can either do it now or they gotta wait. So
Yeah, okay.
And once they make that account, then we don't have to confirm that every year either. It would just be the new ones.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, good.
Is the school district, disseminating any of this information?
Yeah, so they did create, they have a community bulletin board on their website, and they created a spot on there, gave us a location on that, and they've also listed, right now, I think they just have 2 programs listed on there, but it also links back to, our programs.
Okay. Good.
I'm also gonna ask Lisa to talk about summer playground. It's good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So summer playground, we've gotten it established at whatever we're calling, the
The
old.
elementary school that's in Smoketown, but it's.
It listed on the flyer is elementary school at the location. It's going to be kind of one to the other. We titled it a Playground of Possibilities is the theme for the summer. Working on creating the handbook and the whole harmless agreements, things like that. Working with Department of Ed. I talked to them yesterday about their summer nutrition food program that they do. That opens up February 1st to be able to apply for that. It's a little bit of work to get through that and the training that you have to do in order to be able to provide that. And they do have plated meals that you can order from different vendors that they have a list. They've been pretty helpful in trying to figure that all out. We are planning to hire one lead counselor. And so we have the position description written for that. We'll go ahead and post that by the middle of February. And then 3 just camp counselors that would be under that individual. We're running the program from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We've been working on getting sponsors for that. So if you know anyone who would be interested in being a sponsor, we have 4 different sponsorship levels that's listed on the website too. You can see on the flyer, we have 2 groups that at this point, or 2 businesses that have agreed to be sponsors at different levels. And at least 2 more kind of that I'm waiting to hear back from, that I'm kind of confident that will be sponsors. So we'll include them in our promotions once we have that information too. So, at this point, registration's open. We're just waiting for the.
How many kids are expecting to
We're
serve?
limiting it,
Maximum.
maximum is 40.
Wow.
We've, between like different theme weeks that we're going to be doing, as well as different groups coming in, working on that kind of schedule is, too.
You know, access to inside if it's bad weather or something like that.
Yeah, so
That's
we can
nice.
use, a large group instruction room, and then also the gym. And there's a, doorway back there that we can, use that as kind of our drop off point. We need to get inside.
That was my favorite change. I used to be, you had to stay outside even in inclement weather in the pavilion. You couldn't go inside at all. That was got a little nasty at times.
Wow. Well, that's great. That's great. And when did you, what was the dates of that? Did you think that would be?
It's going to start June the 16th and go through August the 8th with, of course, snow playground on June 19th and July.
Cool. Great. All right. Anything else?
I think so.
You've been busy.
You've been busy. You've been busy. That's fair to say. Yeah. All right. Anything else? No, so nothing else from you. Okay, old business. Do we have anybody have any old business they'd like to bring up? That we need to address? New business.
I just had a question about something I read in the paper about, and I didn't understand. Maybe it's just me that I'm not too bright. When you put in some of these apartment complexes or developments you're putting in, you said in lieu of supplying ground, you had a parks and recreation fee or something like that. You were charging them, so there was a fee or something that you were putting in. What is that? Is that?
The subdivision land development ordinance requires new development to provide for park space. To accommodate the new residents that are coming in and putting pressure on the community to provide parks. So there's a formula in the ordinance that says that in a residential development, they're to provide 0.027 acres for every new residential unit. So depending upon how many units that is, that's how many acres they have to provide. It does provide the option for developers to pay a fee in lieu of dedicating that land to the township. So the way that fee is calculated has been a point of discussion at recent board meetings. In the event that the developer wants to pay a fee rather than providing the land, then if they do, which since I've been here, all the developers have paid fees that nobody's dedicated land to the township. That fee has to go into a separate account and has to be used within 3 years for either buying land for parks or making improvements to parks. And that's what we've done with those fees over the years.
Another question. I don't know, this is again off the wall. This kind of stuck by is eventually going to sell the property up here, right? Probably to Smoketown School. Their plan is to sell that eventually, once all the other schools remodel are done, you don't know.
I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't think they've decided what they're gonna do.
I don't think they have either. I mean, because after Leola gets finished, then they're gonna do Fritz. So I don't know, if Fritz will end up over here until they haven't even done, I don't think started the engineering yet on Fritz to know the extent of how that's gonna happen. So I don't know if they'll have to. I think it's still to be determined.
My thought that would be when they do sell it, if they do sell it or whatever, if there be any kind of thing, since it's in the district and the district's growing and we're really short of land space we always had people coming asking for ballparks and stuff, or some way they couldn't leave some of that land or give it to the township or the school district or keep it and let us use it or something instead of selling it first.
They won't be giving it to the township. I can tell you that.
Or make some kind of link to something that can be done or lease or something, but
We'll go to the highest bidder. I think by law, I think they have to do that. They probably have to. It would be.
That idea has been kicked around at different places and different people. So,
I've been retaining that
I'm
issue.
not gonna be part of those conversations for very much longer, so, you'll have to keep that.
I think, part of the conundrum will be, there's a reason the school district is going to eventually abandon that building because of the cost involved in rehabbing it, so whoever is going to buy it is gonna have to bear that burden.
Ballpark, something was anyway, something like that, to leave that just open space for a ball field or something. The building's gonna be exorbitant.
I mean, unless there's a way to subdivide it before they would sell it, I guess would be,
Right. I think, yeah, any ideas are possibilities at this point, but
Separate parcels to begin with. I think originally the school district owned a piece behind the school where the ballparks are. I'm not sure. I don't know if Laps had that or who had that one time. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, okay.
Buy it, maybe Lisa's office.
What'd you say?
Just buy it, make Lisa's office there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have a branch of the library, you could have,
right, basically what Leo did when they gave up their old building, they had a half school, half, they did a lot.
a community center, do all kinds of, have all the different sports, youth sports run out of there, the mind goes wild if you start to think about
Well, it takes his money.
it. That's all.
I can tell you this, I don't know anything about the state of the building, and you referred to that a little bit. All I can tell you is when I went there, every year they were putting an extension on or building that, adding this or that and the other thing, and it's like, oh man, you can see how that could be a real freak show. From an engineering standpoint, architectural standpoint, sure. So, okay. Anything else, any other new business? Anything, public comment? No, we still don't have Stephanie, we don't have anything up there. Okay, all right,
I'll make a move to adjourn. All second.
okay, all in favor?